A scientist searching for a cure to a deadly virus accidentally created a type of rain so dangerous that anyone who got wet would die within seconds, screaming in pain. This was the time before everything collapsed. In Denmark, a girl named Simone was rushing toward her university class for an exam when her father, Frederick, suddenly arrived. Without giving any explanation, he grabbed her and put her in the car. Her younger brother Rasmus and their mother were already inside. Frederick looked extremely nervous and started driving fast without saying anything. He was taking them to a secret bunker deep inside the forest. The weather was getting worse, and it looked like the rain could start at any moment. Because of Frederick's speeding, a few cars ahead got into an accident, completely blocking the road. People started arguing with him, but he didn't care. He quickly took his family out of the car and ran with them into the forest. As they reached the bunker entrance, the first drops of rain started falling from the sky. Frederick used his fingerprint to unlock the bunker and took everyone inside. Simone and Rasmus were confused about why their father had brought them there. The bunker was stocked with everything they needed: years' worth of food, water, and its own air processing system. Simone was about to question Frederick, but he put on a protective suit and prepared to leave. He only said that nobody should step outside until he returned. Simone tried to stop him and demanded to know the truth. Frederick told her that the rain outside was carrying a deadly virus. Anyone who touched it would die in seconds. He was the only person who knew how to create a cure, so he had to go to the company's headquarters immediately. Before leaving, he told Simone to take care of Rasmus because in the future, he would be the one to change everything. Simone still didn't understand, but Frederick left the bunker. A little later, Simone opened her phone and looked at the news. What she saw shocked her. There was death and destruction everywhere. People were collapsing on the streets, screaming, and dying as soon as they got caught in the rain. Simone tried to keep Rasmus calm. Their mother told them they were safe inside the bunker, but warned them not to go outside under any circumstances. While they were talking, someone suddenly began banging hard on the bunker door. Rasmus thought it might be their father. His mother told him not to open it, but he ignored her and unlocked the door. As soon as it opened, a man drenched in rainwater fell inside. His skin was burning, and he tried to pull Rasmus outside with him. Their mother immediately dragged Rasmus back and pushed the infected man out, but in doing so, she stepped into the rain herself. She got infected instantly. Even then, her only concern was Simone and Rasmus. She told them to take care of each other. Simone closed the door, went inside, and tried calling Frederick, but her phone wouldn't connect to him. She remembered her father's instructions that she should act normal in front of Rasmus. Using that as motivation, she collected herself and started checking all the bunker systems. She discovered that there were many other bunkers in the city. She tried contacting them, but none responded. While checking supplies, she found a radio. Using it, she connected with a man hiding in his basement. The outside situation was extremely dangerous, and many people were being moved to a nearby hospital so humans could be kept alive. Simone gave the man Frederick's number and asked him to try calling, but even he couldn't reach Frederick. Simone feared that Frederick might also be dead because surviving outside was nearly impossible. Suddenly, the entire city's power went out, cutting her radio connection. Now she was alone in the bunker with Rasmus. A week passed, and Frederick still didn't return. Simone finally decided to step outside, but she began seeing visions of her mother dying. She got scared and went back inside. Rasmus didn't want her to go outside either, because he understood how dangerous it was. A whole month passed like this. Simone struggled at times to take care of Rasmus, but she tried her best to be a good sister and learned everything about the bunker's systems. During this time, she remembered that Rasmus once had a strange virus no one knew about. Frederick had created an antidote and given it to him. Later, the company learned about this unknown virus and asked Frederick to submit a full report. Simone began to suspect that Frederick might have created the virus himself. About 6 years passed. Simone still had no information about Frederick. Rasmus was now older and wanted to go outside to look for food because their supplies were running out. Simone refused at first, but then realized she needed to check the outside situation herself. Late at night, when Rasmus was asleep, she put on a PP suit and left the bunker. She again saw visions of her mother, but this time she controlled herself and continued forward. Outside, a deer was standing nearby as she walked past it. The roads were filled with damaged cars, and the forest had grown everywhere, taking over the area. Simone didn't stop and kept moving toward the hospital where people had once been taken for safety. She called out several times, but there was no response. Inside, the place was completely destroyed. Everything was ruined, and bodies were scattered across the floor. Suddenly, a wolf appeared. Simone ran into a nearby room and hid. After it got quiet, she slowly came out and returned to her bunker. When she got back, she told Rasmus everything. The outside world was in worse condition than before, and if they wanted to survive, they had to leave this bunker and find another one hidden somewhere else in the city. Hearing this, Rasmus agreed to go with her the next day. They prepared and went to sleep. During the night, something went wrong. The bunker's oxygen levels dropped rapidly, and neither of them realized it in time. Simone collapsed due to low oxygen. Luckily, Rasmus heard the alarms just in time. He lifted Simone and ran outside, closing the bunker behind him. They were now outside without protective suits, but surprisingly, they felt completely fine. This meant they could survive without suits now. Suddenly, a group of people held them at gunpoint. These were the same people who had earlier seen Simone outside. When she went back to the bunker, they had cut her oxygen supply, planning to hold them hostage and steal their supplies. They locked Simone and Rasmus in a room and searched for food inside the bunker. But since their supplies had already run out, they found nothing. Their leader, Martin, decides to leave the bunker. Staying inside any longer would have been a death sentence. Seeing that, Simone writes on a glass panel telling him she knows where they can find more food supplies. Right after writing it, she purposely breaks the pad that had the map of the other bunkers. Now Martin has no choice. If he wants food, he'll have to let Simone and Rasmus out, because the locations of the other bunkers exist only in Simone's memory. As Martin looks at Simone, his mind drifts back to his past, back when he used to be a soldier. At that time, he was ordered to guard a bridge and make sure no one left the infected city. They couldn't risk the infection spreading. One day, during his duty, Martin sees a woman holding her baby. Martin feels pity for her and lets her go. A little later, Martin is called to a tent where all the soldiers stay. There he finds out that the same woman he'd let escape was actually infected. And because he let her go, many soldiers inside the tent died from the infection. Hearing this shatters him. When his last remaining partner also dies, Martin completely breaks. From that moment, he decides he will never trust anyone again. Snapping back to the present, Martin is forced to accept Simone's offer. He frees Simone and Rasmus and takes them outside. After years underground, the sunlight and fresh air feel like a miracle to Simone and Rasmus. But their relief doesn't last long. Martin's team tells them that the world has become so desperate for food and water that people have started killing and eating other humans just to stay alive. Simone and Rasmus are shocked. Suddenly, another group is spotted nearby. They're scanning the area with thermal drones to hunt down survivors. Martin quickly covers everyone with aluminum foil to block their body heat from the drone cameras. But two more survivors nearby aren't so lucky. A girl runs right toward Simone and the group, trying to escape the hunters. Simone wants to help her, but Martin stops her. Helping strangers could put their whole team at risk. But Martin's teammate, Beatrice, sides with Simone. Both women rush ahead to save the girl. The girl slips and falls by a small river, and the hunters are about to kill her. Martin arrives just in time and shoots the attackers. But because the girl fell into the water, she's already infected. Martin has no choice. He has to shoot her too. Simone is horrified. She finally realizes that while the land might be safe, rain or standing water still carries the infection. Even a moment of contact can kill. After this traumatic moment, Simone leads everyone to another bunker whose location she remembers. Reaching it would take almost a full day. Before night falls, they decide to rest in a nearby house. Inside, they find weapons, clothes, some supplies, and even a few bottles of clean water. John gives the clean water to his sick partner, Leah. Seeing them care for each other makes Simone smile. At first, Simone only wanted their help to reach the next bunker. But now she feels these people might actually be good after all. Slowly, she starts trusting Martin's team. The next morning, they continue their journey. Suddenly, Rasmus steps into a puddle. Martin instantly lifts his gun to shoot him, but Simone jumps in front of Rasmus to protect him. She quickly checks his sock. Shockingly, it's completely dry. His shoe was waterproof. Rasmus is safe. Martin sighs in relief and lowers his gun. They continue walking and finally reach the second bunker. Simone opens it using her fingerprint. The moment they step inside, everyone lights up. There is enough food and supplies to survive for years. But Simone can't shake off a feeling of uneasiness. There she sees a phone charging, and on its screen is a childhood photo of her and Rasmus. The phone belonged to their father, Frederick. She checks the phone and finds a video. In it, Frederick says he's going to a headquarters in Sweden to create a cure, an antidote for the infection. Simone immediately thinks her father might still be alive. So she tells Rasmus they have to go to Sweden. She shares this plan with Martin, hoping he'll help. But Martin refuses. He says they're safe here, but going to Sweden means traveling through the city, full of hunters. Martin also thinks Frederick is probably dead, since the video is 6 years old. If the cure existed, he would have heard about it. But Simone ignores him and leaves the bunker with some food. Beatrice, John, and Leah secretly follow because they genuinely want to support Simone. Simone and Rasmus don't know the others are following them. On the way, they see a bus blocking the road. They're exhausted and decide to rest inside. But soon, they see shadows moving outside. They freeze in fear. But it turns out to be Beatrice, John, and Leah. Simone is relieved and asks them to stay back in the bunker where it's safe. But they insist they want to stay with her. They go to a safer place nearby and start eating. But suddenly, a huge group of hunters arrive. They run for their lives. Simone gets separated and reaches a metal fence covered with missing person posters. On the other side of the fence, she sees a little kid standing alone. Rain clouds are gathering fast. What will happen next? Will they find safety before the rain starts? To find out, make sure you like and subscribe.